Hello, everybody. I welcome you back to this part 4 of our series on the Islam slaughter of innocent Christian families, men, women, children, old, young, in the nation of Nigeria. This is part 4, and I am really looking to stop this here. But let's see how far we can go with the watch party in this episode. Then I'll decide at the end. So, without saying too much, let's get down to business.
And we can see this too. We have action steps today for people to take. We'll talk about later, because I'm hopeful that there can be real, meaningful change, radical and real and meaningful change. But it starts with Christians actually believing that they can make a difference, or else they don't do anything because they just feel like it doesn't matter. I think that as people are watching this video, they may have a hard time grasping on the ground when you hear just the numbers. This, thousands and thousands of churches and over 100,000 people murdered and all these villages and stuff. But those can just be numbers. So let's talk about some specific examples. And I asked you if you could bring some specific stories. And so this is going to be a tough part to get through, but I hope you guys stick through the whole video. This is a very, very important video. We can change things in Nigeria, even with this video, because of your actions. So please stick around. But Jed, please help us connect this to real people.
One of the things we do with our mission is we respond to these attacks within 48 hours. But many times we run into a lot of wounded that need to be treated, and the government doesn't pay for their medical expenses. No one comes to their rescue to help pay for their medical expenses. So we've seen it as a big part of our ministry to come alongside these people that are wounded and cover their medical costs so they don't go full bankrupt. They've already lost their homes. They've already lost everything they own, and now they owe medical bills. Or if they can't pay their medical bill, the hospitals won't even treat them. And so as part of our mission, we just saw a great need to help victims who've been wounded. And what I'm about to show you is a video of a gal named Alice who lost her husband, 2 of her children in an attack. And I'm going to share the video right now, and I'll talk more about it in a second. So this is Alice. Her hand was chopped off. She suffered machete wound to her head and to her other hand and her leg. Mm.
Oh, man.
So Alice lost her husband, 2 of her children in an attack. They chopped off her hand. She suffered multiple machete wounds, was left for dead. And I'm going to share this right now. This is her son, Godlove, who survived multiple machete attacks. This is her only child that survived. And we came in and we come alongside and we paid for all the medical bills to help her and her son recover. And thank God they're both in much better shape and in better health now. But this is just one of the few examples, or one of many examples, I'm sorry to say, one of many examples that we do as a mission is we help people like Godlove and Alice that suffer these attacks. So far to date, we've helped over 1,200 people pay for their medical costs and their surgeries after being wounded.
Man. It's so heavy, and this is just one family and what they've gone through.
This is just one family, and we've helped cover the cost of over 1,200 victims. And these are children with bullet wounds, children that have had machete wounds, that have lost limbs, mothers who've witnessed their entire family be killed in front of them, brothers and children that are alive that watch their parents and siblings die. And these are the people that we help. This is what Equipping the Persecuted does, is come alongside people like this. And this is every week. This is every week, Mike. Every week our team is dealing with this.
Listen, I want people to understand this too. We'll talk more about it later, but one of the action steps is going to your website, equippingthepersecuted.org, and supporting you guys. And the reason why I think this is really important, and I'm careful, I try to be careful before I recommend anybody support anybody, but you guys are actually on the ground helping people. You're not just reporting. Like, I'm just reporting. You guys are on the ground helping people. You're actually there. You're actually buying them food and helping them get into somewhere physical where they can sleep and attending to their wounds and creating. Tell us about the early warning system as well that you guys do.
So, part of starting truthnigeria.com, you remember we talked about earlier about having ways for information to get out about really what's happening. Well, we developed trust with villages all over the Middle Belt, and we've taught them things to look for. We've taught them how to get information. What if you see something, say something. If you see something suspicious, look into it. So we become a beacon of essentially of intelligence where people are relaying information to us where we've issued terror alerts.
Yeah, so like someone in a town might see 30 guys go by on motorcycles and they've got weapons on their backs. And so then they contact, and then you guys are like looking at a map going, where might they be going? Can we warn those villages?
Right. Where are they coming? What's going on? Who can we warn? And so we get the information, we issue a terror alert, and part of issuing the terror alert is we notify the Nigerian military, the police, and the local government officials. And since 2023, we launched in 2023. We've issued over 100 terror alerts with 89% accuracy.
Oh my goodness.
Where we were able to warn villages, we warned the government, we warned the military. Now we didn't have all of them, but we were able to issue over 100 terror alerts. And the sad thing is that in the vast majority of these terror alerts, the Nigerian government did nothing. The military did not intervene. The police didn't show up until after the attacks.
They are the sponsors.
Right.
And so one of the things we do is we work with village security teams, not the police, not the military. We work with the village security teams because they're the first line of defense. And we notify them, say, okay, do we put up enough men to thwart off an attack? Or how can we evacuate as many people as possible? And we've started installing village alarm systems where we can. So like a solar powered hooked up to a battery, you have like a big siren, and then you hit a button, goes off. So you're able to send a warning and trying to save as many lives as possible.
Wow. Good. This is all good stuff. And you guys they need more. This stuff has to not just be warned about. That's like the bare minimum is to warn people about it. And I'm glad you guys are at least doing that on the ground. It's crazy that the government just doesn't show up. They don't show up.
It's really sad. It's truly, really sad that there is a so-called entity called government in that nation. That there's not one person in the entire government structure, both the federal, the state, the local. Nobody cares. There are local governments, figures as leaders. There is a state government. There is a federal government. But it takes an outsider, a white man, obviously he's not an indigene from Nigeria, to come and do what he and his organization are doing. I thank God for Jihad and all the people working with him, alongside him, for what they are doing and achieving. Imagine if just the local entity, Nigeria will be talking about the police force, military force, navy, air force. I wonder where they are operating. since the government of Nigeria knows the areas prone to the Islam terrorist attacks, why is the military not stationed there? I'll tell you why. Part of why. Aside from the government in support, actually maybe sponsoring, the military, every force in that nation has been infiltrated. It is said that many of these terrorists, Islam terrorists, that they are so comfortable calling them bandits, herdsmen, when they are caught, they're let out in no time with claims that they have been reformed. And then they give them uniforms. They join the force, whichever one of their choice. And they're now the one. So how do you expect such people to come to save a village that has been raised by their own kind? It is safe to say that the Nigerian situation is hopeless. I know someone who constantly say that the Antichrist is the one who would solve the problem of Nigeria. It's beginning to look like that's the case because the world has safely forgotten about the nation. The people over there, majority of them do not care so far as whatever is happening hasn't reached their backyard. Of course, there is no government to even speak about. It is very, very depressing. I didn't want it to look like I'm paying attention to various parts of the world. As everyone who knows me knows that Israel is my nation. Israel, I will stand with and support with every last breath of mine. I have been speaking and I will continue speaking about Israel until that nonsense war started by the Hamas terrorists is over. I've spoken about the Druze in Syria. I've spoken about the Christians in India, the people in Congo, Sudan. So we try to get people's eyes on those hotspots in the world where Islam terrorists are ravaging, Islam Jihad people are ravaging, decimating lives, families, societies. You can do something, as we have seen, supporting the persecuted, truthnigeria.com. Go to these sites. I encourage you to go to Mike Winger's channel and watch this video to the full. There is another one that I'm gonna do a watch party on as well. I will just try and bring the awareness as long as I can until something tangible is done to protect the Christians in that nation called Nigeria. I thank you for your time. God bless you as you respond and do what is right, what is necessary, as you can afford, as you can manage to do to alleviate the plight of the innocent women, children, families, people in the nation of Nigeria. I'll see you again soon.